Yeah,
There we go.
dope. All right, let's kick it off. My
Good.
mind is not altered yet, and that's how I really want to kick off this program. There's no Kinga.
Yes.
No, there is. Does that look like Kinga? His name is
Who's
Ben.
who's Kinga?
And if he ever asked you to come over and spend the night at his house, don't. In his truck. If he ever asks you for candy, don't eat it.
Yeah, that's very smart.
What is teaching them?
There's no Kinga. You want to go see Mom and Dada?
Teaching
There's not gonna be any Kinga, Em.
What is teaching them?
There's not gonna be a Kinga. You want to say bye to Ben?
Bye.
There's no Kinga, Em. No Kinga or Boo, just this guy. Do you want to hang out with this guy?
Smart. It's a good thing I'm childless. They're scared of me.
It is literally 105 degrees outside. Literally.
Cold-blooded, baby.
All right, Amy, we'll go see Mom and Dad, okay? Say bye, Ben. I love you. Uh,
So much for joining us. So Georgia comes into the season, preseason #1, the party.
all right, let's do that.
What was Kinga all about? Is that a character or is that a person?
No, Kinga's my ex-girlfriend,
Ooh, awkward.
uh, who's also a nanny. Oh, shit. We used to see Kinga all the time, and that's normally who we call on FaceTime.
Mm.
All right, let's just cut it from there. All right, so this will be the start. We're still recording?
Yeah,
Okay. Should we start the intro song?
cue it up.
Copenhagen, what a flavor. Come on, man, come here. Copenhagen,
Copenhagen, you can see it
yourself
in
a
my
favor too.
smile.
No, Ben, that's not the lyric. Copenhagen, what a flavor. Copenhagen,
You can see it in my
see
smile.
it in my smile.
Whoa!
Copenhagen, do yourself favor, chew.
Dude.
Copenhagen, drive them
Got
pretty
them pretty
girls
girls.
wild. Woo!
Woo!
Welcome everyone to episode 1, week 1 of the Legion of Zoom podcast, hosted by the Alex Youngblood podcast. Today I am joined by Ben Broussard. Oh God, and apparently Matt Griffith. Great, Griff. Matt Griffith just logged on. I wanted to do this podcast. Number one, to catch up with my buddies. Number two, well, number one is for Mike, our friend Mike, and we'll tell that story now. But we did this podcast or version of it back in 2020 during the NFL draft. And I've invited a similar group of individuals to this podcast, the Zoom call. It was just being silly back then, and it's just being silly now, to get all of our friends together for something that we all love and enjoy, which is football. I've been obsessed with football since I was a kid. And to kind of tie all of the knots or lines together for this podcast specifically, I'm gonna I'm gonna mute people. So let's see. Buzz, the only one not mute. To tie this podcast together, I became obsessed with football when I met Mike Macdonald, who is the current coach of the Seattle Seahawks, who is a friend of mine from childhood, and almost all the people that have invited to the Zoom and that were on the 2020 NFL Draft podcast. Most of us, if went to either high school or college together. Some of the people I invited are just random people I've met post college. So we have some loose affiliation with Mike. And for me personally, the biggest motivation to do this is one, I feel like I'm living in a dream every time I think that this dude is the head coach of the Seahawks. I met Mike when I was, I think, in 4th or 5th grade in elementary school. I went to Esther Jackson elementary school. He went to an elementary school nearby called River Eves, but we connected through a summer camp counselor named Dan. And Dan was a mentor of mine, a father figure of mine, someone, I didn't have a father growing up. And so when Dan, this summer camp counselor in our town, came into my life at age 9 or 10, it was a huge deal. It was the first time I had a consistent male figure in my life. And I thought he was the coolest guy ever. I thought it was like the coolest thing ever to have met this guy. And he started kind of like mentoring me and taking me under his wing, became my basketball coach. He was from Minnesota. He started taking me to sports bars on the weekends on Sunday to watch the Vikings game, and I became a Vikings fan. And this is how I was really introduced to football in 1997. At that same time, I believe the initial meeting was at summer camp at East Roswell Recreation Center. He also started like taking Mike Macdonald under his wing. Mike came from a little bit of a different background. He came from like a complete nuclear family. He came from a little more well-to-do family. I came from like a single mother household, but there was clearly Mike and I immediately had a connection together. And Dan, this mentor guy, clearly saw something similar between us at the camp and thought like we should start hanging out. I don't remember exactly how we all started hanging out, but before we know it, me and Mike are over at Dan's house every Sunday watching football. I think starting in 5th grade, because I remember being excited, like, oh, next year Mike is going to be at the same school with me and I can introduce him to my friends at Holcomb Bridge. And that's what happened. We all ended up going to Holcomb Bridge Middle School, not all of us. I ended up going to Holcomb Bridge Middle School. 2 of my closest friends that'll hopefully join us, Hunter and Lenny, went to elementary school with me. And then when we all joined in at the same middle school with Mike, me, Mike, Hunter, Lenny all became good friends. And that's honestly, that was kind of like the peak of my relationship with Mike was ages 6th grade through 8th grade in middle school. And that's also where more members that hopefully of this chat that show up, where I met some of them. They went to a neighboring middle school. Eventually, we all ended up at the same high school, Centennial High School in Roswell, Georgia. And we graduated in 2006, which is the inspiration for my Coach Mike 06 Seattle Seahawks jersey. Mike, from the minute I met that dude, I loved him because he was very successful. At the time of my life, I was very successful. He was smart. He was good at sports. He had friends. He seemed like a high caliber dude. And I felt like most of my friends were smart, funny, were social, were good at sports. And I was like, oh, this guy will fit. Like, this guy fits right in with like the type of people I'm like hang out with. This is my 10-year-old brain thinking. But then as we got to middle school, it became evident that like this guy was operating on a higher level than us. I'll fire this up right now as I say this. I've always had like kind of, I feel like a stoner mindset. Shout out.
On cue.
Ah, I blew all the weed. I've never done it before in my life. I've never done it before in my life. Oh God, we got that on camera. There's literally empty joint now. I've never done that in my life. I've never done it in my life. I got on camera. And there's like a burning bud on my floor now. Smoke. Middle of smoke from burning bud walking up. Close.
This is such a great microcosm of the dynamics between you and Mike McDonald.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because he's always been like a grown man, right? Like he was always the, you know, adult in the room, even as kids.
He was always the adult in the room, even as kids. And so when we got to middle school, this has always kind of been my vibe, right? And I feel like my friends I hung out with kind of more this vibe. We were smart. We were in the highest level class. We were in honors and AP classes, but there are a lot of mental health things I've talked about going on with me personally at the time that kind of like limited my consciousness and involvement with all of reality. But aside from that, I don't have any mental health issues going on right now. And this is still me, right? So, and this has kind of always been me. And so there was very clearly like, oh, this guy's my bro. We share some things in common. He's a nice guy. Like we're buddies, but like I'm still a kid, and this guy's clearly on the path to becoming an adult way before I'm gonna become an adult.
Yeah.
And so from puberty onward, that's what happened. Like I kind of I met you right after eighth grade. You got incorporated into our friend group within high school,
Yep.
and you
But
get it.
I missed all those like developmental years, right? The middle
Right.
school.
Right,
So
because by the time you came into our friend group, Mike wasn't in our friend group in any close way. We were
yeah,
friends with him. We were in high school. We knew him. He was one of our boys, but we weren't hanging out with him regularly because he was fucking
he was a
level with
serious
us.
dude. He was a serious
He
dude.
was hanging out with older kids. He was clearly on a path of success. At that time in high school, we didn't know it was going to be NFL coaching, but you knew this guy was going to be something super successful. I
Well,
remember eighth grade at our eighth grade graduation, they like invented an award for him called like the All-American Kid or something like that. Some like crazy award, like, that you give out like all the normal awards.
well, I feel like back then too, he was still trying to like play because he had all those injury issues,
Yeah.
and he
So
was still
sorry,
trying to like be an athlete.
I keep hitting this joint in like the middle of my sentences. They gave out they like invented this award for him at the end of the ceremony where it's like, who's the fucking best human ever to go to this middle school? This guy. It's like, and it was like, dude, the way I remember specifically last day of middle school, sitting in the bleachers. I was probably sitting near him when he went to go get the award, and I remember the way the teachers were presenting him with the award and the way the faculty and staff were showing him respect was like, whoa. Like this guy's on a different level. And at the time when you're younger, it's like jealousy or lack of understanding. He's still my boy, and you get it. Like this guy, he deserves it. It's not like this is unjust, but it's also like, wait a second, you don't quite understand it. And I haven't fully wrapped my head around. I started this podcast to learn how to become an adult. And the irony is like one of my first friends ever was already an adult.
Yeah,
It's crazy to think.
yeah.
And so let me finish up the timeline, and then I want to add some more like actual heart and meaning for what it means to me personally, this whole situation. We go to high school. Mike's on this path of ultimate success. My whole laptop's covered in fucking blood. We end up long story short, we end up basically all the individuals that I'm referencing in this story and that'll potentially participate in this pod. A lot of us end up at University of Georgia. Mike ends up at University of Georgia. Once again, we're all fucking getting fucked up and doing nonsense and being college kids. And Mike is on this, clearly still on this trajectory, right? My relationship with him dwindles at every stage of life, right? High school, he's off hanging out with older kids. He's not like a dick or like he's a popular kid because he's the man, but like he's not a mean guy. He's not what you would think of as like the popular jock. The reason he hangs out with older kids and doesn't hang out with fucking losers like us once we like, he has other options is because he's at that point in life, and at this point in life, quite frankly, he's resonating on a higher vibration. So he's just gonna vibrate up to a higher level. And naturally, it's not anything he doesn't have like a mean bone in his body or anything like that. He's just a high functioning individual.
I mean, he's a serious person. I think that's the easiest way to
Yeah.
break it down. Like you and me especially are very unserious people, which I don't know if that's equated to adulthood or not, but like serious and that's not, again, like to your point, it's not mean-spirited. It's just, everything is very serious. Like each, each encounter, each conversation, each like every interaction is serious. Not like somber. It's just like I think that's why he's able to connect because everything's like very serious. I'll have, those surface level engagements with people because I don't care or I'm an asshole or whatever. He's not like that. Like everything is sort of like I'm gonna give this my full attention and like think critically about everything, which I think is why he's been at that level his, as long as I've known him, which is even later than you. But I didn't meet him until we were in our early teens.
100%. And I apologize for the pauses while I'm hitting the joint. I thank you for chiming in with that. And please keep chiming in because I'll go over the place. 100%. That's what it is, man. And that's what Mike is teaching me, what the world is teaching me, what I started this whole podcast just to learn how to become an adult. I was 30 years old. I felt like I was 15. I still feel like I'm 15. Everyone's buying houses and getting married and having kids. And I just felt like I missed a memo or something. Like this like transitionary process isn't happening for me. I still feel like the same person valuing the same shit for the most. I'm learning more and my values do change. My principles change, right? But like I don't have a desire to, from what I see, like lock into like the system or whatever. I never did. And I never felt any of my friends did, but then all of a sudden everyone was like interested in like accounting and yard work. And I was like, well, I thought we used to be into like fucking chicks and football. Like what happened? Anyway, I wanted to learn. I wanted to get to the bottom of these things. And one of the main things I've learned in life, and I kind of knew, or in adulthood, and I knew this in childhood as well, that like, because we are told this, follow your dreams, do what makes you happy, but you must maintain focus. In order to be highly successful in something, you discipline and focus are paramount. I'm like, strangling my fucking head. Discipline and focus are paramount.
Yep.
You cannot be, if you want to achieve elite level success, you cannot be distracted. You cannot deviate the path. That's Mike in a nutshell, dude. I remember in 8th grade, 7th grade, I can be in middle school. I started playing actual football once I got introduced to NFL with Mike and watching games with this dude Dan on Sundays. Then we went to middle school. He wasn't playing football at the time. He was super into he was a very good baseball player. I remember my shit was soccer and his shit was baseball. And I used to make fun like fucking baseball. And then football was kind of the middle ground. And we were both like talked about, okay, when we get to football, we're both gonna play football. And we did. We both played football in middle school. And like I was into football, but I'm never focused on one thing. My mind is always elsewhere. So, and I don't do well with authoritarianism and being told what to do. And football is exactly that, right? Football coaches are football coaches, dude. It's a very paternalistic environment. So as soon as you're like yelling at me in what I perceive as a disrespectful way, and I'm not flexible in my thinking. I like to be involved in the decision-making process. And so I know I did not thrive in a football environment at all.
Yeah.
I don't like being told what to do. I don't like being yelled at. I don't want to be what I perceive as disrespected. I never had a dad. I'm not used to that shit.
Dude, I played lacrosse for that reason.
Yeah.
Hey, hello. I played lacrosse because it was like contact of football, but it was all a bunch of stoner kids that didn't really take it seriously. So
I'm gonna start Griff, if you're around, sorry I silenced you. I'm gonna let everyone in. Jim, if you want to get involved and you're chiming in or you're logging on, put on your mic and camera. I'll silence your mic maybe if there's background noise.
whoa, where's
Give a little
Jim?
intro right
What's
now.
up, boys?
Just joining the Zoom is our boy James Masterson,
Wow.
one of Mike's closest companions, and his secretary in the background. Say hi to your secretary for me, please, Jimmy.
Oh yeah, that's some lady. I'm at a 5-year-old's birthday party.
Jimmy's at a 5-year-old's birthday party. Jimmy's one of Mike's closest friends, confidants, I would say, football advisors. No, Jimmy went to high school. What high school and college with Mike.
That's correct.
Thanks for joining us, Jim. I was just giving a background of like all of this and my relationship with Mike and how we know the guy, and I think it's a good time. I'll just wrap up all that bullshit. Oh, I was just telling an anecdote. We were talking about focus and what it means to be, what it requires to be experience high level success at anything in life. And like, what separated Mike from us as
Oh,
kids?
that's a good question.
Still
I
in
don't know.
the
He was drawing football plays during class, so
Exactly, dude. That's the anecdote I was gonna drive. I remember playing football with him in middle school, and I was like into it, I thought. But then I can remember sitting in like English class. I remember sitting in Miss Holloway's honors English class, and we sat next to each other in the front, and like we'd wrap up early, and you could do whatever you want. I'd go talk to Hunter and Lenny or whatever, dick around, no phones back then, play a game on a calculator, and Mike would just be sitting at his desk drawing up plays on
Yep.
like the back of whatever essay we had of our little essay book. You just have like a book full of plays on it. Like, dude, is that like something we're supposed to be doing for like is that something we're all supposed to be doing? He's like, no, this is just something I'm working on. I was like a fucking 14-year-old, you know? So that's when I started to realize like, okay, there's something like I said, I was going through a lot mental health wise in my head. So I always thought I was different. I knew something was wrong with me as opposed to other people. And then the more my relationship with him grew, I felt even more like removed from whatever the path of success. I felt more lost, honestly, I was like, well, this is a whole different being of individual that I don't quite understand yet. And even now as an adult, I'm just starting to get the picture of like, oh, that's how you become a successful person. You identify something that you are super passionate about. You make ultimate sacrifices and dial in ultimate focus in pursuit of that dream. Duh. He was doing that from age 13 on. Or
and
when
even if you have it, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Because not everyone's willing to make the sacrifice,
right. Well,
and some
yes.
people just don't want to.
Yes, and some people don't have the God-given talent. Like Mike is a super intelligent dude. You could be that obsessed with football and be autistic, and it's not gonna happen. Like Mike McDaniel, but it works. By the way, I'm gonna chime in here real quick. I've been always thinking about this. There's some kind of Irish conspiracy with NFL head coaches.
A lot of mix.
A fourth of the league are like youngish dudes with Irish last names. What is that?
We'll put a pin in that.
Okay, cool.
I'll get my best. I'll get my best person on that.
McDaniel, McVay, Macdonald, McShay, McDermott. There's more.
O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah. Anyway, Callahan. Anyway, Shanahan. Yes, so that's what it takes to build to be a successful and focused human being.
Yeah.
I forget what I was in the narrative of this, but I just want to like set the stage with this for why it's like to me it's so meaningful to do this. First, I was saying this earlier to you, Buzz. First off, when I think of he's been progressing along this coaching journey the whole way. He graduated with us at UGA in 2010 and took a graduate assistantship. And when he did that, I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like, I know this guy's going to be successful whatever he does. If he does like fucking accounting, he's going to like be the CEO or whatever, you know.
Don't you remember? Don't you remember he started law school?
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like he
okay.
went to law school for like less than a semester, I think, and then pulled the ripcord and was like, fuck this. And he
Well, I
went
remember
back.
in high school talking to him about how he was thinking about going to West Point.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, dude, this fucking guy's gonna be the
President.
fucking head of the defense department. You know, that made sense too, right? Like, dude, if this guy goes to West Point, he's gonna be a fucking general, right?
Sure.
I remember thinking that, but also thinking like, dude, I hope this guy doesn't get fucking murdered. Like, I don't know. Anyway, oh yeah, and then he did the graduate assistantship, and I remember having dinner with him in Baltimore in like 2014, 15 range. I think he was like I think he got an internship with the Ravens. And then, of course, he immediately got promoted to like defensive backs coach or something. And he was in that era. He wasn't linebackers coach. He wasn't defensive coordinator. He was like an assistant coach with the Ravens. And I remember even then he was kind of like, I don't know if it like he was. I guess if things didn't go like totally according to plan, he was considering not doing it, which I found shocking at that point. Because he was like, we're like 29 and he was already an assistant coach. But I think when you're that guy, it's probably like you can't help but wonder, like, dude, if I could do this here, I could do this anywhere. Like I could probably, I could be president. But now he's continued to rise. Then he became I've always known if he sticks with this. I remember I've been telling people since he was a graduate assistant at UJ, and telling my buddy Mike Sorenza in Phoenix when he
Yes.
was 22, and watching the SEC championship, the one against Bama that we lost in 2011 or whenever that one was. I remember sitting watching that game with him, and Mike was a graduate assistant. And I remember telling him, dude, if this guy sticks with this path, he's gonna be a head coach in the NFL or college. Guaranteed. There's no like that's some people are just stars, man. Some people are just on that vibration. They're riding that wave, and it's just, if death or drug addiction doesn't take them out, they're gonna reach the ultimate pinnacle of success. And now that he's a head coach and became a defensive coordinator,
Yeah, it's been fun, guys. Yeah,
who's
a little
talking?
less than I expected.
Oh, we got something. Now that he's defensive coordinator of a defensive coordinator of the Ravens and then Michigan.
Yeah, okay, I'm out of here. Yeah, I thought this was going to be.
There we go. It's sorry, I gotta finish my soliloquy and then you can come with your bullshit. I feel like I'm living in a dream. Like I feel like like it's not real in a way, in a powerful, magical, positive way. When I think of him being, ever since he's gotten the Ravens job, I haven't really been on my radar in my mind until training camps and shit started getting fired up in the last month or two. But every time I think about the guy, I'm like, holy shit, we're living in. I feel like I'm living in a simulation, in a dream, where like almost magic is real. And speaking of Lenny, I can remember telling Lenny, who's that? Oh,
whoa, who's that? Oh, look at that!
And Mail's always trying to up my hair, dude. My hair's thicker than Mail's. My hair's so much cooler. Blonder, mine's blonder.
Get out, man.
What happened to Jimmy? I thought Jimmy was.
Shut up! I'm not done. I remember telling Lenny, and I've told different people this, but like Lenny was always obsessed with baseball. Has been a super smart guy. Like, dude, why don't you pursue like an internship with the Braves or in like some kind of front office? Like, you should do that when you're young in high school. What Mike is teaching us is not only the mechanics of success, like we were just talking about with Jimmy, that in order to achieve ultimate success in anything in life, you need to identify a dream. You need to dial in focus. You need to make sacrifices to all other things in your life that aren't promoting that vision. And that's a very difficult thing to do. It's a very adult, high level thing to do. What he's teaching us is not only the mechanics, that focus, vision, dreams, work ethic, discipline. He's also teaching us like the bounds of what is possible. We're all taught like you can become anything you want in life, you can achieve your dreams. But how many people do y'all know that have actually identified a dream and achieved it? It kind of feels like bullshit. And depending on where you live and what part of the world and what time and era of time and space you were born into, there are going to be some elements of physics that are going to limit your dream achievement, I suppose. But in 2024, on planet Earth, the United States of America, but increasingly everywhere on planet Earth, you truly can achieve some pretty crazy, incredible, dream-like shit. And that's what Coach Mike is teaching us. That's what he's taught us. And that's what I find like truly, deeply, profoundly inspiring. In a life-altering way. Since this dude has gotten this job, I feel more powerful and more capable as a person, especially in the last couple months since it's been back on my radar and I'm thinking about it on a daily basis. It inspires me on a daily basis. Like, dude, my problem in life has I've had a lot of problems in life, but as far as like achievement of traditional success, my issue has been identifying a goal. I'm always so many things I'm interested in. But now I'm starting to dial things in and reevaluate my priorities. And it sounds crazy, but over the last 3 to 6 months, I'm starting to feel like more stable, more focused, more confident, more powerful than I ever have in my life. And like developing it sounds negative, but in a positive way, like I don't give a fuck attitude in a positive way. Like I truly don't care what anyone else thinks. This is what I'm valued. This is what I'm focused on. If you're with me, you're with me. If you're not, that's cool too. You go do your own, find your own path. So I know that's very kind of theoretical and metaphorical, but I'm just trying to. I want to talk about football in the season, and I'm super excited and just truly celebrate this, dude. Because if I ever became something as fucking remotely as cool as head coach of an NFL team, I would want people that I knew along the way to like feel inspired and lifted by that and celebrate it. So yeah, that's why we're here. At least while I'm here, I'll be here. I'm gonna try this every week, and I'm flying to Seattle tonight for game 1.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Sweet.
and yeah, that's that. Well, let's bring other people in here. Lenny, you want to talk so much? Why don't you say something? Buzz has been offering some words. We had Jimmy here earlier.
One thing, Shane.
Go ahead.
As you're talking, and before Dave got here, I was mentioning that like my connection to Mike is incredibly like distant. Like we were never super close, but I've followed his career over the last 10, 12 years because I'm a
He used
football.
to put you in trash cans
Yeah, he did. That was yeah.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
and lockers.
See, not all of us are on the same path of maturity and growth as Coach Mike. I am.
Clearly.
Mayo's
Whoa.
a step ahead of us.
Burn.
The lost little boy still.
What do you we're doing that again? Drugs? Is this gonna be posted online?
Yeah. Do you have a better? Yes. It
No,
will
I
until
have nothing
YouTube.
better.
It will until YouTube shuts me down because they're fucking silencing the truth.
Are y'all getting the Georgia game? I can't figure out how to get it on.
Yeah, I got it on. Come on
What
over.
do you have? What do you pay?
Are you hotboxing, Lenny? It's a very smoky filter you got going on.
Jesus Christ.
Cameras from.
That can't be
Good,
good.
good drugs.
There we go. That's better.
Yeah, way better.
No, I can't watch the Georgia game.
Yeah, I got it right here, dude. ESPN Plus. Ever heard of it?
How much do you pay for that?
How much do I pay? More
Yeah,
than
so I think it'd be cool. I mean, this is what I plan on doing. I don't like sitting in a chair and staring at a screen when
Hey,
it's
what's up, dude?
Saturdays, but I would like to do this every week. Some version. I'll be here by myself smoking weed if no one else wants.
Oh, you've actually, the place looks a lot nicer than the last time we did one of these.
The mid's like,
That's what I said.
It's beautiful. You got pictures.
I'm gonna try to. Let me see if I can change my setup.
Is that a manifesto map in the background, Train?
Hold on.
Yeah,
I like your
You got-
accent.
the AC unit is. I mean, that's nice. Probably gets real cold in there, huh?
It does. It's 105 degrees today.
Well, good thing you got that unit over there.
Ben,
It
here's
was
the
already-
unit. Or
Who's
your-
the picture of
What?
in the fridge?
We haven't done anything. It's basically Alex getting set up for half an
Oh,
hour.
Turning your shirt backwards.
Yeah.
Mike Sorenza.
Sam gave this to me at his bachelor party a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
It's our family.
Sam
No.
drew that. That's pretty cool.
No, JoJo and their
Hey, what
haircut.
happened to Jimmy? I saw he was right when I got on.
He's
It
at a
seems like-
birthday party. He's at a 5-year-old birthday party. So anyway, that's my little intro of why this is means something to me. I feel like I gave a background of our timeline, his career.
It's kind of hard to have serious dialogue with
with Mayo
No,
here.
I think it's a good time. 'Cause
Certain
I don't
people.
want it to be all serious. No, it's a good time, but that's also
Hey,
why.
you look like Bradley
But Buzz,
Cooper.
But this is
Get Bradley
specifically
Cooper
why.
a lot.
Shut up.
I actually got that like 2 weeks ago for the first time ever.
hell yeah.
Yeah, it was very flattering on the street.
This is specifically why, Buzz, I invited you because Lenny, in theory, would be like the fun guy to have on the podcast, and like he'll participate, and everyone.
Don't
loves
mute me. Don't mute me.
Okay,
I thought we were watching.
Lenny, if you keep talking when other people are talking, we
I
can't.
know I won't. But I thought we were watching Seattle Seahawks game tape and talking about it. I didn't know we were talking. Is it life, godlike introspection on what Mike's job is, how it's changed us. I really was watching Geno Smith. I had some things to say about Kenneth Walker, and I'm here like changing my life. Apparently.
Real X's and O's.
I don't think we really discussed what this was going to be about. I will mute myself now.
Okay. Well, once again, if you hadn't interrupted me, I could have answered that question. But I invited Ben Broussard an hour earlier than everyone else specifically because I know Ben will take things seriously from like a content creation media perspective and will respect messaging and narrative. And he's also like he's good at like being media guy, co-host in a sense. Lenny,
I'm a
I also
journalism
very
student.
much valuable your involvement. In fact, if I had to have just one episode with one person, I'd probably pick you, Lenny, almost certainly.
Easy.
But because you're such a creative and powerful content creator,
Powerful.
you can kind of overwhelm the environment. And so,
Hey, Griff's in the waiting room train.
Whoa!
Go!
Oh, Ben just interrupted.
if I'm trying
Mute him. X
to
him
like
out.
set the stage of a new little project and add some clarity and introduction to a situation, an intro, an overview, objective, you're not the guy I'm gonna
Yeah.
not the guy I'm gonna ask. You know, you're your own guy. You should have your own show. And so,
Bloody show, man in the box. Get back in that box.
but anyway, now is the time, Lenny. Now is the time. Well, let's talk some ball, right, guys? Let's talk some actual ball. Let's break down the Hawks. Let's give our valuable opinions, and most importantly, at the end of the show, let's put our money where our mouth is.
Hey, let Griff in. Griff's in the waiting room.
Damn it, Lenny, that's what you're supposed to pick up. I say something like, hey, let's put our money where our mouth is. And then it's like, then you pick up from there. Like, yeah, money.
$500. I thought we were doing the Seahawks bets. What happened with it?
Yeah, what do you want to do bet-wise for the season? Let us in on what we or
Buzz and Mayor, you guys
What we
interested in putting? Do you gamble on DraftKings or any kind of Bovada
No,
type thing? Nope. It's a hard no.
I'm not interested. I'm interested in hearing you guys talk about it.
yeah,
That's cool.
I mean,
I
Mayo.
would have been the third person you would have invited for a one-on-one football conversation.
Actually, before we let Lenny in and take over the show, Mayo, you don't have to say. You can just shake your head. Do you want to say anything, Mayo? Because you're serious.
At all in general in this whole conversation or right now?
With regard to
Give us a life update.
Mike or like Mayo just got married.
Where's Hunter?
Oh, he's coming over in a few minutes.
No, he's not.
Yeah, you're right.
Have you guys heard anything from Hunter?
I have not.
No. Okay. All right. Well, nothing from Mayo. Mayo, let us know
Not
if you
since the new
chime in.
baby.
Okay. Lenny, betting wise, we're going all in on the Seahawks. What are you thinking as far as our weekly allocation?
I don't know.
$50 a week.
$50 a week.
$50 a week. And
Okay,
like we
wait.
discussed,
Let's talk and we don't need to like unit shame or let's make this a little more inclusive for a wide
$10 a week.
Are we calling everyone has their own different kind of unit? Everyone's unit is different. Okay. Some units are big, some units are small. For you, unit is $50.
It's a pretty big unit. Ben's is teeny.
Ben, what kind of unit are you comfortable operating with on a weekly basis?
This guy,
Wait.
yeah.
Okay, are we talking? Let me get back into the mix here. So
Money, not P9.
first of all, Griff texted me that he's in the waiting room. Is he not in the waiting room?
I haven't seen him. I've been checking back in. I haven't
Okay.
seen him.
All right.
He's not there, bro.
So moving on from that, when we're talking,
you take over, Ben. I'm gonna try to invite him.
okay. So when we're talking
Can lead
about
the show.
weekly units, that's the gambling of money we want to put per week on what? Like, what are we talking about? Are we picking the Seahawks games?
Always. And it's either going to be money line or spread. When it's a plus money line, you hammer the Hawks. When it is a minus money line, you take the spread. So when it's a plus money line, you take the money line on the Seahawks. But when Mike is favored, we don't want that money line because it's going to be gross. So we want to take the spread because we're confident Mike's going to win every week.
Why don't we just go all in futures? Do coach of the year? Come on.
Well, we can discuss those things as well. I want to get to those as well. Let's handle our weekly.
The year is hard because I expect Mike to go 9-7. I don't think they're gonna give it to some 11 and whatever. They're not gonna give it to him at 9-7, even though he'll have done fantastic job and will have earned it. Fantastic. He's not gonna get it. They're gonna give it to bullshit some third seed.
I don't totally agree. I mean, first off, can we? in all seriousness, I mean, I'm all in on the Seahawks in this situation because it's fucking incredible that a guy that we know and grew up with is fucking head coach of the Seahawks. Every time I say it, I'm like, am I fucking real? Especially
I'm crying too,
I'm like,
dude.
is this real life?
I'm crying
But
too,
from a
dude.
serious football perspective, and we're football guys, I think
Yeah,
they're
we
gonna
are.
be good, dude. And I think he like I
They
think
could
he's
be
the
good. They
truth.
could be really good.
I think he is the truth. I think we're looking at the next Bill Belichick.
I think I think you need 8 years.
Obviously, I could not be more biased or high, but I think we're looking at the next Bill Belichick.
You don't get this kind of
He's
analysis
the
on
truth.
ESPN.
I honestly think this guy's the truth.
Week 1, his line right now, and you're talking about Bo Nix. You're talking about, I mean, they should run away with this game, and they know that their money line is minus 260, and I think Hunter put $50 on that to win like 14. So that's why I said that's stupid. Why would we even do that? Take the 6 points, which is, I mean, is Mike going to win his first game by over a touchdown?
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, backtrack real quick. Winning. Sorry, 1 second, real quick. Backtracking. We're agreed. We're in on the Hawks. We're going in on the Hawks every week.
Yes.
We're Hawks guys. Okay. So
Ben, did you agree? Mayo?
Yeah, I'm all in.
All in. As long as Sam Howell doesn't touch the field.
Well,
oh, that's true, actually.
No, that's fine because the lines will adjust and Mike will
Okay, Lenny,
get
you're right.
favorable lines, and we're betting on Mike, not on one.
We're betting on Mike. We're Mike guys because I shouldn't say we're Seahawks guys. We're Mike guys. Because
guess what? If Sam Howell was starting this game,
17-0 this season and wins the Super Bowl and gets $1 billion offer from the Cowboys, we're gonna be Cowboys guys next year.
if Sam Howell was starting this game, it would probably be a even money line, even everything. What we do, we'd put our money on Mike. Doesn't matter who, and we'd get better odds.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about the defense. Like I assume
It's
the defense.
Mike's.
Say what?
It's Mike's
How
defense.
fucking dare you say you don't know anything about the defense? I think
I
don't know anything about you.
Why are we talking?
On the
Why are we
beach.
talking shit about Tar Heels? You guys are talking. Sam Howell is a gifted quarterback.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's not a bad time for this guy to join the conversation.
You and Buzz got the matching polos.
Matt Griffith joining us. Actually,
I might want to burn that thing, Matt.
On the beach?
Shut up!
He's at the beach.
One person talks at a time. One person talks at a time.
I'm reporting live.
I'm introducing Matt Griffith now. I'm introducing
Athens, Georgia.
Matt, have you become like almost a little bit of a local celebrity in Greenville, South Carolina? Because you were Mike Macdonald's roommate freshman year in college. It's kind of crazy, right? It's pretty cool.
That's how I introduce myself now. I get a lot of weird looks. It's more of a college football town. They don't know who I'm talking
now
about.
is probably a better time. Maybe let's just cut to the chase. Get it out in the open for everyone. It's 2024, Seattle. Big deal. What kind of gay stuff did y'all do in that dorm?
Mostly around Madden. So any kind of kinky stuff you can think about with Madden.
That's why I had to live in Brumby. Y'all live in Brumby, right?
No, man, we lived in Creswell. We lived in Creswell, and he was a delightful roommate.
Dude, he would probably be the best roommate ever. You are a great roommate too. That's a good roommate combination.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Super clean.
That'd be a great dude. That'd be the perfect roommate combination.
Buzz and I were pretty close to being the perfect Georgia State 06.
Yep.
That was pretty nice.
Yep. We actually got one guy to go try. Well, I won't say.
I didn't know.
Peter, and
we were too cool for one guy.
I'm all about free speech, but I'm gonna save you. Let's leave that one out for your own good.
Jonas got free tuition.
Where were we? Matt, Mike, hanging out in college. Oh, did he play Madden in y'all's dorm?
He played a ton of Madden, but he also he always had a legal pad out and was drawing up plays. Always.
Yeah. It's not a joke. We talked about that earlier. He was doing that in middle school. He was doing that shit in fucking middle school, dude.
Well, and he was always gone because half the time he was a defensive coordinator for a high school football team. So we lived a very and Alex, you said this earlier, but we lived a very different freshman year experience because he was out doing stuff like that.
Dude, it's fucking He's a special guy, which is why I'm telling you, dude. I think this guy's for real. I think. Have y'all watched the? Didn't I text y'all the like little Hard Knocks thing they do?
Yeah, I watched the
Watched
first
it.
episode.
I
There's
didn't see
two
it.
different versions of it. I don't quite understand what it is. But there's one called The Sound, and there's one called Before the Noise. I think Before the Noise must be like something they do in the off season. The Sound, I think, is going to go throughout the season. But anyway,
Like the
dude,
Puget Sound.
what's that?
It's a double meaning, like the Puget Sound in Seattle. That's what I call it.
Yeah, that's what it is. I was wondering the sound. Like, what is this?
That's how big of a fan I am. I'm learning Seattle culture to like
Geography.
wine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a true
Mom
Seattle.
used to live in Seattle.
Didn't you, Buzz? Did you add Mount Rainier to your tattoo on your arm? Didn't
Yeah,
you? Weren't you
yeah,
gonna do that?
yeah.
Actually, Seattle's kind of in my blood. My uncle used to live in Seattle. My sister got married at Mount Rainier.
Wow.
And
Fun fact.
Lenny, you remember that time that weren't you in my basement? Buzz, you might have been there too. One of y'all spit in my special Starbucks cup. Hunter? Yeah, I got that from the first ever Starbucks in Seattle.
He didn't have a
Asshole
spittoon,
spit, and I was saving it for as a
There
like
was a lot.
memento.
there was a lot of debate before that went down. He looked at look, he's not here to defend himself. He looked everywhere, and that was the last place. You know, it served its purpose. You weren't going to have it still today. You know, that it was tough.
Wait, was that when you came back from Seattle when we surprised you in your basement room?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Seattle runs
He's
deep.
like, I got this cup. And an hour later,
Maybe, I don't know. I think the cup might have come before that because I don't think it.
God, you love that cup. You talked about that cup.
I
What the hell about this
No,
damn
that
cup?
wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense. It wasn't a different trip because that was after we graduated.
God.
The
You
Seattle.
brought that cup everywhere with you.
No, but I made multiple Seattle trips throughout my childhood because my uncle lived there. I'm a Seattle guy. It's in my family.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's all the connections I've got.
Frazier.
God loves Frazier.
Seattle guy.
Yeah, Mayo loves
here.
Hey, Frazier.
Yeah.
Mayo
Right.
was the guy who watched Frasier of our group. We were in a group.
Mayo, real quick, what
Anything
makes
you can know
Frazier?
about Seattle?
David Mayo, real quick, what makes Frazier such a special program?
Where to begin?
Yeah. Yeah. It starts in a little neighborhood bar in Boston. No one got that joke.
Cheers.
We're gonna go ahead and
Cheers. Yeah.
David Mayo. Thank you, Mayo. That was good, but we're gonna move on.
Alex, do you feel like Tony Reale right now, just muting people?
It's great.
Can we get some points?
Yeah, award some points.
The only thing Mayo said the whole podcast.
I can say a lot more than that. Just wait.
We'll get you back in, man. No, we truly do value your opinion here in the Legion Zoom podcast, but we need to get back to some gambling talk. Oh, Griff,
all gonna be
Sam Howell, Griff, as a diehard Hawks guy, how do you feel about Gino versus Sam Howell? Is that an issue for you?
No, 100% Gino. But he's a great backup. He's going to be a career backup. He's a good guy to have on the bench.
I agree 100%. He
looks like Mayfield got stung by a bunch of bees.
What's that?
Sam Howell looks like Baker Mayfield got stung by a bunch of bees.
He does, dude. I look at a guy like that. Yeah, it always surprised me. This guy's an NFL quarterback, huh?
But he is a tank. He will run and he will take a hit.
Yeah,
Sam Howell, he's a dude.
I like him. I like watching him play. He's fun. But
Do they have the guy from Notre Dame as the third stringer? Sam, the guy with the hair, the good-looking dude.
Lenny, get up.
Hartman.
Get the depth chart.
Yeah.
Somebody get the depth chart up. Somebody get a depth chart
I'm
up.
looking at it right now.
Yeah, Sam Hartman.
I've been listening to
Sam Hartman.
What? Really?
Third string.
What
The
happened to PJ? What happened to PJ Walker?
PJ Walker.
He got cut?
You're thinking of Kenneth.
No, I'm not thinking. Bro, I've been all in over the last 2 weeks. I've been all in on the Seahawks. I've watched all those.
I've watched more tape than you. I watched every single tape, every practice, every scrimmage.
Dude,
You thought
is McIntosh still on the roster or he get cut?
PJ Walker's been cut for like 9 weeks. He's a free agent.
What about
Nobody-
Kenny McIntosh?
K-Mac, he got cut too. That entire team got cut. All the dogs, they're just getting cut left and right.
Man, you think you know somebody.
telling you, man. And that Eagles defense with all the
Maybe we should end this
the
podcast.
greatest Georgia defense of all time. Talk to Eagles fans. They say they're all busts, including Ringo, including Nolan, including
Well, it's because
Jordan Davis.
you got a bunch of guys that are really like mid-rounders, but collectively they all lift each other to what appears to be first-round status, and they get overdrafted.
Kenny McIntosh made the team.
He
He's the
did.
third. He's the third.
Third string guy.
Behind Zach Charbonnet.
That's the three then. That's it.
Right.
Okay. Okay, we still haven't got back to okay. So we're in on the Hawks. We think they're actually legitimately gonna be. I think they're gonna be legitimately good. I think they could win. I think win the division. I think they're gonna win the division.
Do you know the wide receiver depth chart for the Seattle Seahawks? Do you know who's on that? What someone that is surprising, but also not, if you know where Mike's head is leaning?
DK, Jackson,
DK.
Jigba, Tyler
Those are the top-
Lockett,
Those are the top three,
Laviska Chenault.
top four.
These guys.
You do know this guy. The son of UGA's offensive coordinator,
Bobo. Oh yeah, he's sick. Bobo's the man.
Jake Bobo. I didn't know he was on the Seahawks.
He's like a big. He's
Man,
like the like fan favorite guy on the team. He has like a big cult following. Bobo. He's like very popular,
Is he?
What
Yeah, I knew
position?
that. He's a
and
wide
I think
receiver.
he's pretty good.
He had 200 yards in his career and two tutties.
Yeah.
Tutty.
It's a real
That's what I'm
football.
telling you. The offense is stacked. The running back core, they have what I consider top 5 running back in the league. I think Geno's legit. That their wide receiver, they might have the deepest wide receiver core in the league. The offensive line is
the
suspect
Texans
from what
are
I
better,
understand, but they've improved it. I think their offense is legit. And then as far as defense is concerned, I don't give a fuck, bro. It could be us
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
a bunch of convicts.
Right.
Mike is going to get it dialed in. Mike
Base
from
3-4
marching
D.
beated their own drum. Everyone is dialed in on the mission of the squad. The only question is, and I think he'll have handled this, there's a complexity to the defense. There's complexity to the system. It's a revolutionary defensive system. It is not based on your standard 4 front lineman rushing. Jack, that's what's up. Jack knows what's up. Tell him, Jack.
What's up,
Young
Jack?
Hawks fan, diehard Hawks
problem.
fan, youngest Hawks
Something
fan.
happened.
That hit me.
Don't hit me.
No, Ty hit him. We're gonna need some. Jack's been taking Taekwondo, but we're not gonna use that.
I'm glad Jack's here, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we're getting this on the record. Jack,
Ty hit him right in
I
the
love you,
chest.
buddy. But your parents are doing a real disservice by having you take Taekwondo.
You think so?
Oh, here we go.
It's mostly about the discipline that he's getting. Like they don't
You
put
can
up
get
with it. They make
disciplined
him-
in jiu-jitsu, Lenny. You can
Tell him
get
about Taekwondo.
disciplined
Show him.
in American wrestling. You can get disciplined in Muay Thai or any version of kickboxing.
That's the wrong.
Oh, really? Jack. Jack.
That's my boy.
Lenny, seriously, for everyone here, not that I'm like some MMA expert, but I actually am like increasingly.
You want to watch this? Let's see what we got. Punch.
Jack, holding your hands like this in this position, if you're in any kind of physical altercation, is a recipe for losing your consciousness.
It's fighting stance.
Your
Fighting
hands
stance.
always need to be by your face. If you need to protect your
That's not
body,
how you do it.
it's a very simple
That's
lower
not how you do it.
the elbow. Lenny.
Train, listen to him. Listen to him.
Also, when you're striking, you also should be ideally striking for your opponent's face, specifically their chin. Directing punches at your opponent's chest is arguably the worst place you could possibly punch
So
them.
crazy.
Wild.
Also, kicking in this direction, unless you are like directly targeting your opponent's genitals, entirely ineffective and liable to break your ankle, your knee, tear a ligament. When you're kicking an opponent, whether you obviously you want to kick with like from the rear and from a sideways motion, that way you're able to target the legs, the chest, or the head. Kicking like this is you're limiting yourself literally to like a extremely narrow window, we're gonna be kicking shins in.
You're losing your audience, dude.
Liddy, I just had this conversation with JoJo's parents. She takes Taekwondo to preschool, and then now they want to keep doing it. It's like it's a legitimate waste of time.
Wait, who? Joe?
You're arguably
No, we stopped. He wasn't listening.
might as well like not take anything. So at least they're not learning bad technique and philosophy.
We had 2 lessons in a row where we were extremely embarrassed. It was me, and they had to yell at him because he was the only one that just wouldn't sit down. And I was like, "We're not coming back."
That's why you take him to something like jujitsu where they're actually having physical altercations with another person and they get all that energy like dialed in and he'll enjoy it. He'll look forward to it.
Yeah, there's a karate center next to our
Dumbass
house.
fucking-
Might try karate next.
Lady, that's not karate. There's 3 options as far as what's going to be available for kids. Jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, which I wouldn't recommend kickboxing because some schools might actually have them throw punches at their head, or wrestling, dude.
Or Krav Maga.
Wrestling would be cool. Wrestling would be cool because you're
Krav
gonna use
Maga.
that in high school.
Yes,
One thing I
wrestling.
noticed about
Not actually be able to inflict damage on your opponent, so you might actually just put them in jiu-jitsu.
one thing I noticed about the Taekwondo is the like the 17-year-olds that like
Koreans?
volunteer. Well, some, but the Americans are extremely like been in high school. You know, I don't know how else to put it, like a nicer way to say it, but yeah, not great. A lot going on.
Yes, because it's BS, dude. And so actual athletes and
cheeseburgery.
people that would actually apply their skills in a real world environment are not going to be drawn to that. It's like Magic the Gathering.
I don't even know.
Yes.
It's BS. It's going to attract fantasy people because it's fantasy.
What do you
Jack,
think,
what do you think, buddy? What do you think? No?
What do you
Okay.
think about Taekwondo?
That's it.
Yes,
Just
sir.
YouTube 1 million videos of Taekwondo versus Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo versus Muay Thai, Taekwondo versus boxing, like a standard American boxing or Western boxing, you know? It's BS. Waste of
Where's
time.
Sarah? Bring Sarah in here.
Sarah, we were getting the whole darn thing. We haven't played it tonight. She's cleaning the house. It's some mess.
Wow, sick mic,
We're
bro.
trying to put TV downstairs in the basement.
Jack's
Oh,
having a movie
okay.
party. His friends are coming over to watch movies in the basement.
Jack, are you man of the house? Yep.
Hey,
That's what I thought. Happy belated anniversary there, Lenny.
Every man in the house of those Taekwondo kicks.
Is that 9 years? 8 years? How long are we in?
I put a bowl of cereal
7.
on the floor.
7.
I put a big cereal bowl on the floor outside.
in our
Uh-oh.
Are you All right, back to the Seahawks. We're losing.
Back to the Hawks.
Dude, we're gonna see what Smith a real run for his
Hey,
money
hey,
here.
hey. Jack, if you stay though, don't talk. When one person talks at a time. If you want to stay, Jack. Otherwise, Lenny.
You want to play with Ty in the other room?
Stay. He's good. Stay. He's good for the show. Keep him here.
Don't stay away.
Just go
Stay and
away.
hang, Jack. You're gonna learn something. Sarah, take him out of Taekwondo.
Can you keep saying that? What? Because he said it's just not special.
It's a BS martial art. It's an entirely ineffective martial art. I know you're not like trying to turn him into a UFC fighter, but if you're spending that time and money, he should actually develop legitimate skills.
He says karate's bad too.
Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, or
Wrestling.
kickboxing.
But they don't do it that cool. The other one's here too.
Wrestling's great. It's the least cultish. And so as far as like having to like be super rigid and stay sitting down all the time and all that, wrestling would be the best for him.
You don't do wrestling at 4. Think about it. That all starts in middle school.
Hello.
I take these kids to break.
Lenny, get closer to your. Can you get closer to your mic, or somehow?
Look at Mayo. That's David. Look at him. You guys want hair like that? You gotta push it out harder.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, this is,
I can't, Lenny, if you get closer to your mic, I can do this with you, but we can't hear you.
I know. My computer doesn't work if multiple people are talking. All right, all the boys. Yeah, this is very serious.
All right, I'll do this. I'll be there YouTube viewer by myself.
Yeah, mute me.
So where we were is figuring out what our weekly bets are. Lenny and I have discussed via text. First we discussed going money line. We're just go money line every time, or we do the spread every time. But we agreed we're gonna go Seahawks every week. Lenny wants to throw down $50 on the Seahawks every week. I think it was $50, either money line or spread. For this first week's game, the line is, I think, either 5.5 or 6, depending on where you're looking. I personally don't love it at either of those numbers.
Can I throw a curveball in?
Yes.
So Mike's a defensive guru.
Mm-hmm.
I love the under 41.5. I love it. Rookie quarterback going against the Mike Macdonald defense, 41.5 is the over-under. So you're telling me that they're both going to score close to 3 touchdowns apiece? I don't believe it.
I'm with you.
Right?
Yeah.
This is a 2017 game, 2014 game all day.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100% actually.
Uh-oh.
What's the money line? Sorry,
Ben, you got some cottage cheese?
Yeah.
Did you even offer Mayo some of your cottage
minus
cheese?
200 money line. I'm down with that. Oh no, that's not my son.
Mayo comes over and you just don't give him any cottage.
Yeah, there's no food.
Minus 260.
Okay.
So, Lenny, what are you thinking for this week? You down with the money line? You down the spread? What do you think?
This week it is a horrendous money line. Therefore, have faith. This is called have faith in Mike. You take the 6. All we need is 7. Oh, I don't like that. If this is about blindly having faith in Mike, then this should be
I don't
system.
I don't think the spread has anything to do with my faith in Mike Macdonald. I think
You want to put $50 to win 20?
I demonstrate my faith in Coach Mike through the money line. I don't think the spread is so unpredictable. It has nothing to do with Coach Mike or not.
Say what you are.
You're suggesting that perhaps Coach Mike manages his football team based on gambling or the spread? Are you suggesting there's some sort of involvement between him and what is now illegal wagering by NFL coaches? Oh, by the way, I texted him that. I looked up the NFL wagering policy for fantasy football and wagering. And NFL coaches are allowed to participate in fantasy football. They can't bet. There can't be monetary gain involved, but they can be in a league.
A free league.
Yes. And I sent that to him, and he actually responded with legitimate, like he took it seriously.
Excellent research, Alex. You may join our staff as a coordinator.
No, hey man, still sorry. I can't.
Can we send an invite to him to join this call or no?
I did send him one. I sent him one this morning. I think it was
You might not have seen it. I would send it probably every 20. We can have Mayo send it every 20 minutes till we get off the call.
I think it was, unless I sent the wrong one. But fucking Hunter's not even showing up. So I don't think Mike Macdonald's showing up.
The day before probably the biggest day of his life.
Literally the biggest day of his life. He's not big.
Yeah, he's been waiting for this.
But I mean, what an asshole though. It's not a road game or anything.
That's true. That's true. They're at home, so he's just chilling in his new mansion.
We don't all have to be on board, I guess, with as long as we're all on board with the Hawks. I think I'm not going to take offense. I'm taking the money line. I'm going 1 unit on the money line, and then Lenny, I don't know if you heard Buzz through the total out there, which is 41.
Under. Hammer the under.
Under 41. You got to go, Lenny.
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
Yeah.
peace.
No. I hold on. My neighbor wants to go with me and Jack to the driving range, and I thought we were driving separate, but he's parked outside my house. I don't know. He hasn't texted me or anything.
Does he
But
like
he's-
football?
Yeah, he loves football. He's a Dolphins guy.
Amen.
Huge Dolphins guy.
Bring
I'm
him
in
in.
front of your house. That's what he just said.
What do you say?
I think I do have to go. He's
All right.
asking me to come.
All right, well, tell
All
us your bet real quick. You're taking the spread?
Spread 6, easy. Bo Nix, 2 pick sixes at least.
And what about the total at 41?
Sarah, can you go
That's
get
my bet.
Mike in the front yard?
That's my bet.
Oh yeah, I don't do the over-unders. I'm talking Mike.
Under 41?
I don't want to look at it because Mike, your job is to win the game, win in this case, win big, and I will do it. I gotta go.
Hey,
Yeah.
go Hawks.
Go Hawks, baby.
Ben, what do you think about that? You know, I'm
Why
just
don't we all just
I'm
do different?
so subject. I've always been extremely vulnerable to peer pressure, and you have me on the 41. Now Lenny's saying the thing about Mike, and it's like all this loyalty and faith in Mike, and it's
Why don't we just do our own bets? Like that'd be kind of fun, right? Like we all pick the Seahawks game and we find our favorite bets of that week,
oh, that's a good idea actually.
right?
Like
I would love with a rookie quarterback, but it's Sean Payton. It's like it's kind of a weird, like I don't know what they're gonna be, right? Because Sean Payton's a great coach. He loves this Bo Nix guy, but Bo Nix, I mean, he's still a rookie. Is that gonna like on the road, Seattle? Like it's just there's too many variables for me to be like, yes, Mike's gonna come in there and they're gonna win by 14 points. I don't know. I have no
I don't
clue.
like the spread at all. The spread's huge. I think
Right. Yeah.
For
Yeah. Like I would be, I mean, I'd hate this is blasphemy, but I would take the Broncos in the spread if we're doing that. That sounds, I don't want to get struck by lightning.
I'll have my producer edit that out. You shouldn't. Okay, I'm going money line. I think it's minus 260. I'm going money line every week. Like,
Wow.
right? I guess I'll hit the spread sometimes if I like the spread. But maybe I'll just ride money line every week.
Wasn't Lenny's point that the juice on the money line wasn't great? It was like minus 260 or something.
Yeah, but I mean, who cares? They're gonna win. Bucks win.
All right.
And you're going I think I'm gonna the under at 41. I'm gonna take the under as well.
There we go.
What are your thoughts long term? Legitimately serious thoughts. You're clearly not afraid to talk shit about head coach Mike Macdonald and the Seattle Seahawks. What is your legitimate expectations, realistic expectations for the season?
I think what's their over under 8.5? Like they're picking them to go like 9-7 ish or 9-8 ish.
I think their over under is like 9 something right around there.
Okay.
Well, throw a record out there.
No, I think 10-7. I like 10-7 for those guys. I mean, shit. There's a world where, and I haven't looked at their schedule. I don't know like who they draw from the AFC, et cetera. But there's a world where they go 11-6, and I'm not surprised. And they win the division, right? Like that's the ceiling. I think win the division, 11 wins. That's very doable. Yeah, I think that's very possible. I have the Rams coming out of the NFC for some reason. I don't know why. Like that was my pick. My Super Bowl pick was Bills over Rams for some weird reason. I don't know why. That's probably not going to happen. So maybe take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. But I really do like the Seahawks to win 10 games minimum. Like that would be my over under for them.
I think 10 games minimum. Damn, that's strong. I mean, I guess there's always a version. I'm trying to think if there's actually any version where I see this being a disaster. I honestly don't think this being a disaster because, dude, I really do have faith in this guy. I think he's the fucking man. I think he's going to be an awesome coach. Like, I've never seen him in person coaching, like, in a locker room. And I've never seen him do media press conferences, like little interviews and shit here and there. And I've been watching his fucking press conferences, watching the little Hard Knocks series that they have going on. You get to see those things. And that was like my only question whatsoever is like, I haven't hung out with this guy. We've seen in text communication. We've seen each other like a handful of times since college. So I don't know like how his personality has developed, that kind of like minutia of how does he like look a player in the eye? How does he communicate with the media? I didn't know that specifically. I don't know that about that in general with the NFL in general, right? I don't have anything to compare to. But dude, watching his press conferences and watching the TV show, I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's for real. Like, I think this guy is going to be a legitimate coach and people and is going to have legitimate buy-in from the whole squad. I haven't looked at their schedule, but I don't see any way that this is. I generally think they're going to be good. I think 500 record minimum. I'm with you. 10-7, 11-6, and unless the Rams or the 49ers go insane, which I don't think they are, I think they're making the playoffs. And then once you're in the playoffs, once you're in the tournament, it's anything fucking goes. Anything can happen from there. You know more about, you've done more thinking about like the rest of the league than I have. I really like the Texans. Not that I make like a Super Bowl prediction or anything. I haven't thought about any other team. I haven't thought about I honestly haven't even followed the Vikings at all.
So they get their draw from the AFC is the AFC East. So they get to play the Patriots. That's, probably the worst team in the
Bills, Dolphins. Who's the other one?
Yeah, Patriots, Bills, Dolphins, and Jets.
Great.
But they get to play the Jets late in the year in December. They get to play the Cardinals twice in division. Bears on the road. Nothing on the schedule is like, ooh, that's a tough 4-week stretch. They kind of get breathers here and there. Who knows what the Falcons are going to be like? So 10-7. I'm going to set our own Legion of Zoom line on the year at 10 wins. That's the line.
Woo!
I don't know if I have the power to do that. I'm not an executive.
You do. You're great. I'm confident. I really want to make an effort to do this every week. And you'll be the best long-term consistent partner with it. And you're good at this if you're down for it. I'll show up by myself regardless.
You might have to do Fridays or Saturdays depending.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, dude, I'm with you. 10 wins. 10 wins. That's what I've kind of felt the whole time. When I went back to the draft, I went back, watched the draft, watched the picks. I've been listening to this podcast called it's Locked On. Have you heard of Locked On? I think it's just like a sports brand, right? They have like a daily podcast. I'm assuming for like every professional sports team. And so I listen to Locked On Seahawks. They have a daily podcast, which is insane that like these guys are covering like
the battles for the fourth linebacker spot.
It's insane. But you can feel the kind of the vibe, the optimism increasing as Pete Carroll got fired, Mike got hired, the draft went on. They got this dude Byron Murphy who like slid, was like the perfect pick for them, defensive lineman out of Texas. And then I started listening to like broader NFL podcasts just to catch up for all this. And you can feel the hype building. It's like he was nobody when he first got hired. We were like, oh yeah, the defensive coordinator of the Ravens, they're awesome. But that's kind of like almost feels like a reach in a draft, right? And then now it feels like even the national reporting and national narrative is that like this guy's the real fucking deal. And I'm here, dude. I heard in Simmons. I posted this clip, I think on my Instagram, maybe. I've cut a lot of clips from podcasts and I only get around.
That's what I was going to bring up. There was like a 3-minute Mike Macdonald segment on the Simmons podcast.
Dude, Simmons is like, I think Simmons picked him for coach of the year.
Yeah, he did. He did it more on odds because I think it was like pretty favorable odds. So that's why he gambled. But still, like he's really.
Dude, I'll probably bet on that. I haven't looked at the futures or anything, but I'm going to check out the futures after this. I should have prepared for it. But I'll bet on for coach of the year, dude. I think they're going to way exceed expectations. I think their defense is going to be filthy. Like their defense, and it's a great setup just from the narrative and stats perspective. Their defense was like, I think 31st overall last year, 30th or something like that, dude. And they're going to jump to they're jumping to the top 10. And so that in of itself, I know he's not the defensive coordinator, but everyone knows what's up. I think I'm pretty sure he's calling the plays. Or I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's running the defense when they're on the field. I think
he's 100-1 odds to win.
Shut up.
Or 10, sorry. What's plus 1,000? That's 100-1, right? Or is that 10 to 1?
1,000 is 10 to 1.
Okay, sorry, 10 to 1. My bad.
Jesus Christ, dude, I'm fucking.
Is he the youngest? No, he's second youngest head coach ever.
8.
Oh, is this a good time to go back to my fucking Irish my Irish Mayo probably knows something about this. Mayo's Irish, kind of.
The Rams coach?
McVay. I think he's older than us.
But when he got hired, though.
List,
Oh, yeah.
list NFL head coaches or people immediately involved with the NFL with their Irish last names. Mike Macdonald, Mike McDaniel, Sean McDermott, Sean McVay, wasn't Kyle Shanahan, was
Mike
Google.
Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. I don't know. I've run this through my head. There's a lot. That right there is already what? A fifth of the league?
Jared Mayo, y'all are related.
Yeah. Cousin.
No,
Yeah.
dude, there's a bunch. I can't listen. No, man.
There's a lot. There's a lot of Irish dudes.
Anyway, something's going on. There's Mike McDaniel. There's Mike McDonald.
Right, the NRA, dude. Coming back.
Maybe.
Dude,
You know what's
say a 90-degree turn?
You know what's gonna be like a big national narrative, I think, in the next like decade, maybe, is McDaniel versus McDonald.
I agree.
Offense, defense, they're both like these nerdy, like young super genius coaches. The McDaniel versus McDonald. They're both in the AFC. I think that's gonna be like a huge thing. I don't know about McDaniel if he's long-term success, but he seems to have it. And that's the thing that was shocking to me about Mike, our Mike, versus Mike McDaniel. I don't know Mike McDaniel. I've never like seen him in the locker room or anything, but I've always known Mike is a genius level, just probably human in a way, but certainly with football. But his ability to relate with the coach to people and connect with people, and I guess I should have known that because I know the guy personally, and he's very personal and people like him, right? He's not an asshole of any way, but he seems like, I don't know, the players, the way players talk about him in interviews, the players, when I've seen on camera players interacting with him, it seems very like he's got it, like he's got something special, not just from an X's and O's, which would be coordinator perspective, but from an actual head coach, leader of men, teacher of men perspective, teacher of humans, that this guy's got something special. So I think he's the fucking real deal.
I used to watch some of his interviews back when he was like, what was he before he was defensive coordinator, like linebackers coach?
Yeah, I think linebacker. Yeah, I think it was linebackers coach.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he does have a pretty good connection, gets a lot of good response.
And like you hear other players talk about him, like the former players and shit like that, and it's like, well, okay, this guy's just like, he's a good, he's just a good dude. He's a football guy, but he's not just that. Like he's a good dude. He's a good human being. He's a nice guy. So anyway, this will be a crazy, fun journey. I thought I was out on football, man. I thought I was out on football. Then last year, Lucas brought me in on this fantasy league with his law school friends. I got totally fucking hooked again. And then the Ravens were doing awesome last year. And I knew after about the first few games that this was going to be the season that he started getting offers. I remember texting him maybe around week 8 about that, like, this is going to be it. Like, this is going to be the season you get the.
I mean, he was this close to taking the Falcons job.
Yeah, I want to talk to him, man. I want to get him. I really hope
be here. No way.
Get him down just one-on-one for a long form interview, just like I've done with all of y'all.
Look.
And
wait,
he's a little busy.
I think it could happen. Just
might be off season.
People like talking. Not now. I don't expect during this. No, in the off season. What was I saying? Oh, but what was I saying? Short-term memory.
See, I think you were saying you want to hear about like that.
Atlanta.
I want to hear about that. I want to hear about the coaching process of who already got. That was the other thing I wanted to say earlier when I was talking about like his narrative and the hype around him specifically building. I want to know what offers he got and like what the insider and ownership group knew, like what the thinking about him as a head coaching candidate was when during all that went down.
There was a moment in time where we were going to be able to watch, or there was a sliding doors moment where we were going to be able to watch Sunday Night Football broadcast with Maria Taylor, Centennial Night 05, introducing or doing a pregame interview with Mike Macdonald, Dolphins head coach, while they showed Julie Hampton / Julie Cousins in the stands rooting on her husband. It was gonna be Knight's takeover.
I'm talking about, dude. Not that like the NFL, it's like the craziest thing in the world. Like, but dude, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, man. We're everywhere. It's
Oh
Roswell,
five,
Georgia.
06, 08 graduates
We run the world.
from our fucking high school in Roswell, Georgia. That's wild, man.
I don't know if you guys knew this about me and Mike, but we're gonna get this out of the record. You'll
Yeah.
know that we were co-Excalibur Award winners.
Hmm.
2006
shit.
Centennial Knights
Yeah.
baseball team.
Jesus, and look at you.
We tied.
Wow.
We tied.
Wow. Look where you are.
Well,
On my couch.
you want to get into it? Kind of like a pity tie, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Is that a team voted?
Mayo was like the only disabled. What's the term now? Retarded? What handicap? Well, I don't know what the term.
It's retarded. Yeah.
Retarded. You're right. You got it right. Yeah.
Member of the varsity baseball team in the history of our high school. So that's cool, I guess. But that's why you tied with an NFL head coach, right?
Yeah, but it was still pretty special.
It wasn't because you were jacking homers over the left field wall.
No, it was not because I was good at baseball. That is
Neither was
absolutely
Mike.
unequivocally.
Right? Like he was injured too.
He's a leader, God damn it!
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he actually like played baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he was.
Yeah, he was all about baseball. He's also a big Gators guy. Just like that's just something you and him have in common.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gators guys.
And Chavone, Daniel Chavone. The three of us were like these Gator kids in high school.
Became Bulldogs. 1 second. Keep talking about something. Go. There you go.
Yeah, we all became Bulldogs by hook or by crook, I guess.
That's right.
I don't know where Alex went, but
I thought we were going to be unpacking the Georgia Tech matchup.
yeah, that's a good point.
That's what I thought. That's what I.
Yeah, can we flip to the Tennessee Tech?
I'm sorry, I haven't been talking very much. I prepared for the Tennessee Tech game.
No, but Mayo would actually be very good to have on this solo. I think maybe what I do going forward. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to say that out loud. But another idea I had was getting there's just been way too much logistics, but like getting everyone on one-on-one, or getting like one-on-one, 15 minutes with you on Mike, 15 minutes with you on Mike and Seahawks, 15 minutes with you on Mike and Seahawks. And like, of course, Lenny's would be silly and about football. And, anyway, maybe we'll do something like that.
I've got 15 minutes on Mike, other than what I told you at the top, where I'm.
But I could pull, I would take it in different directions or whatever. And then
I've just been embellished.
Like with Mayo, it would be 30 seconds, and then it would be 14 minutes on something unrelated.
Yeah.
All right.
Because Mayo's he's not a jock like us.
Is this going to be a new podcast, or are you putting this on the Alex?
No, I can't handle doing another new podcast, or like feed and all of that. I'm just gonna put this up. I mean, I guess I could spin it off at some point, but for now, I'm just gonna put it up. But I am gonna put this will be the first one I've ever done on YouTube. I'm gonna start seeing how that works with video on Spotify. I got to keep all my shit centralized to Spotify because YouTube, bro, sketchy fucks.
They put back up that interview with Alberto.
No, but I just did a 3rd-part interview with Alberto Crane 2 days ago. And the first 15 minutes was on that. I hadn't talked to him about it at all. I'd only talked to his producer. He's been out of town. He's at the Olympics, and then he's always flying somewhere. I don't really talk to him, period. And so we went into the studio yesterday to do this interview. He has like a studio above the gym, and he started talking about, yeah, so your thing got taken down today. I was like, shh. Like that's the first thing I'm gonna ask you about when I turn on the microphone. That's what I did. So the first 15 minutes of the next episode is about it. Long story short is they took it down for election interference.
Oh.
Hey, YouTube, this is coming on fucking wherever. I'm putting this everywhere. Fuck the censorship. Fuck the nonsense, the AI. I don't give a fuck. If you are not threatening physical harm, you should be allowed to say whatever you want. I don't care if you're denying the Holocaust, saying that Sandy Hook was a hoax, saying faggot or queer or whatever. You're allowed to say whatever you want. It's fucking America. Going in any other direction aside from that, going the opposite direction, will be the unraveling of society as we know it. And we will devolve back into dictatorial nonsense. I'm not standing for it.
What got flagged? What got flagged for election interference? Do you know?
Nothing. It's just a fucking catch-all term these fucks use to take down anything, any sort of discussion that isn't about the NFL, the Seahawks, fucking puppy videos, or Joe Biden or Donald Trump, or the standard reality that has been imposed upon us. Any sort of discussion of an alternative way of existence, an alternative way of life, will be silenced, is silenced, even from someone as uninfluential as a fucking glorified janitor at a martial arts gym. Fuck y'all. I'm not going to stop. I will never stop. I will not edit my speech. I will not, even in the back of my head, subconsciously think, oh, maybe that would get edited by YouTube. Fuck y'all. Take my shit down. I will show up in person and ask why. I will be a nuisance. And what will ultimately happen is you're going to turn someone like me, and I will not be the only one, who's a stoner yoga guy who wants to flippantly talk to people that he loves for fun and do sports podcasts. You're going to embolden me to actually become a leader of a movement, and I will do that. So leave me the fuck alone, and I'll talk about football. If you keep silencing me, I'm coming for you, and I'm going to ramp up the narrative. I'm going to elevate the dialogue. If you want to silence me, leave me alone. My natural inclination is bullshit and smoking weed. If you interfere with any of that, tell me what to do, or try to silence my speech or change my speech in any way, I will become an enemy of your fucking authoritarian horseshit. That's it.
Well said.
What was I saying before?
I don't know.
I'm so sick of it, dude. It's fucking bullshit. I've had so many issues just getting this little podcast up. It's constantly, even my own little podcast, it's constantly not being uploaded to YouTube and Apple. Spotify, based in another country, who kind of models himself in a way on like open dialogue, no issues. Interesting. All of the small little podcast platforms, Good Pod, iHeartRadio, fucking all these tiny little smaller versions, no issues. Amazon Music had some issues. Fucking weird. I go on a broader podcast for the first time ever with a broad audience, thousands of people, 100,000 subscribers, whatever. And I talk about alternative forms of the education system and the elimination of the income tax. I'm not talking about fucking Holocaust and all. I'm not talking about conspiracy theories. Nothing hateful, hurtful, nothing that's even like counterfactual, because it's just an idea. That's the big scary problem to people, to the powers that be. It's not counterfactual. It's not what they call misinformation. It's alternative ways of thinking. It's alternative ways of viewing reality and your way in the relationship of power structures with society. It's not saying that like the vaccines don't work or COVID came from a lab. That's not the kind of shit that really scares them. What scares them is alternative ways of viewing reality, of reorganization of the system. That's what fucking terrifies them. Anyway, fucking
Over under 10 wins.
Yeah, 11 wins. Oh, so I was talking about doing the podcast, something. Oh, anyway, I did the podcast with you, and we talked about this for the first 50 minutes, and I basically just said that on his podcast again. And he says, I'll take it. It's the first time in the history of this dude's podcast that any episode has been taken down. This dude has hundreds and hundreds of episodes, 100,000 subscribers. First time ever podcast episode has been taken down for election interference. And discuss a fucking election. It's just a catch-all they use to take your shit down. And then most people, what they're going to do is they're like, okay, I'll edit this little part out. And then the next time they record a podcast, they'll maybe change their speech a little bit so they don't have to deal with the bullshit the red tape of the censorship and the AI. Okay, I just won't say that, so I don't have to deal with the bullshit, even if they do believe in free speech and not censoring themselves. So while it may seem like a small thing here and there, because he's like, oh, I'll put it back up, I'll just edit the little part, whatever they didn't like, I'll edit it. And we're on the same line, mostly politically and supporting free speech and shit like that. And it's like that kind of, how many times is that type of shit being repeated in mass for people that are creating content online? Like just minor little edits, minor little edits, minor little edits, minor little edits in mass is over time will eventually just create this common fucking narrative of like how things should be. Yeah, it's infuriating. So anyway, he said he's gonna put it back up, but he's gonna edit out whatever they want to be edited out. Bullshit. So I said, send me the full thing. I'll put it up on mine. I'll find another place to put it. Spotify, I think, will be cool. I'll put up on Rumble or Twitter or whatever, dude. Yeah, it's so stupid. Like I was ranting about. It's like I don't want to do I don't want to do this. I do this because I feel like there's inclination to do this, and I want it to be fun. I don't like doing this, really. I don't listen to my podcast. It takes time and effort. I just have this like overwhelming like urge at first to get to know my family and friends better. And then now it's everyone I meet an interesting person. I'm like, man, I really want to get to know that person. And I want other people to get to know them. I want it to be meaningful. So the podcast has just become this avenue, this technology to do those things. And that's my inclination. It's very laissez-faire. It's very, I'll put up an episode here. I'll put up an episode there. I don't care. I want to do shit like this. Fucking be silly, Coach Mike. Although I really am, I really believe in Coach Mike. Like, I think it's meaningful, his story and everything. But when shit like this happens, dude, now I'm on a fucking mission. Now I want to dedicate my life to this shit. Now I want to dedicate my life to like discovering truth, speaking truth, giving other people a platform to say whatever the fuck they want. I don't know, uniting a movement to make sure companies like YouTube or whatever don't do this shit. I'll end it here. Ironically, I support YouTube's right to censor whatever the fuck they want. If they want to become a sheep bin where all they hear is bah 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 all day long, fine. It's ultimately to the detriment of their platform. I support a private company's right to censor whatever the fuck they want. I do think we're getting to weird territory now where these companies are becoming so big, they're almost like they're coming close to utilities in a way. I mean, like, I never support government regulation of any kind, but it's becoming weird. They're becoming so big. It's a nuanced discussion, I think. But people need to step up and recognize that this shit is happening. Not support it, speak out against it. I call it out when it's happening. Censorship, even on the smallest scale, and then support platforms that aren't doing this kind of shit. More open platforms. I'm not a fucking social media guy. I don't fucking know. I asked Lucas about all this when all this started popping off about like, where can you put? I don't know shit about this. I don't fucking go on my phone. I don't know. I listen to podcasts and I watch sports. That's it. But I guess Twitter's more open. Spotify's more open. Rumble's more open. But the problem with some of these alternative ones like Rumble, I think they're starting to either overtly or informally develop like an inherently right-wing kind of narrative. So it just seems like there's a massive opportunity for a new video platform, audio video platform, something the equivalent of YouTube, to step up and just be like, listen, put whatever the fuck you want there, put porn on there. Like, put everything on there as long as it's not like espousing violence or whatever the legal narrative of the First Amendment is, or the legal standard of the First Amendment is. Just apply the First Amendment to your fucking video platform. Quit trying to get fucking political and woke and shit with that's creepy fucking shit. And it starts with China. I'm gonna end it here because this is a whole different thing, but it's China. China's taking over and we're deeply invested in all of our shit and they own all our debt. And China, I don't think it's like American politicians. I think American government is what it is. I think it's like this, like almost antiquated bureaucracy. I don't think there's like this big conspiracy going on there necessarily. I think it's fucked up, antiquated system that has legitimate power, but I don't think there's like a bunch of nefarious actors or the government's that organized enough to do shit. This shit is China, bro. This shit is centralized in China. China's the only power great enough to like have this much singular influence. And they're the ones that want that fucking narrative. They're the ones that are most invested in a singular narrative, lack of dissent. Everyone march in line together. And so they're rolling TikTok, they're rolling all of the major tech companies is where I think this kind of shit is starting. Whoa, did not expect to go there.
Yeah, you're not going to get this kind of breakdown on any other podcast.
Dude, I'm telling you, I want to do fucking stupid shit, but I get obsessed with shit. So these fuckers put the shit in my head, they're fucking up because I'm gonna become an enemy of their woke nonsense.
So, Train, did you click the AI companion at the start of this call?
Oh.
I think you did.
Yeah, I saw it pop up.
So you got to send me the recap whenever you get it.
I would love to see this recap.
Because AI is gonna try to break down this entire conversation, and I think you might like cause a server to explode because this is all over the place.
You're gonna
it.
like tank NVIDIA today.
Yeah.
All right, man. Georgia, go ahead. I know you had some Georgia stuff.
I think
how's this
I think
going?
this is a good first episode. We got live co-hosts here. That's pretty cool.
I think it's been really
we had
cool.
three random pop-ins.
Do you think there was no one in the waiting room this week? Wait till next week.
Yeah, man.
All right, nothing on Georgia. I don't know anything about Georgia. I watched the game last week. They're sick.
Yeah, we're 24-0 at the half against Tennessee Tech. So,
Buzz, how's your budding cottage business going in Athens?
it's good, man. We got a nurse moving in for 3 months in the back house.
Does she have to leave on the weekends?
No, we're not. So we I guess, what do you call it? We originally offered the place for football weekends. We're not doing that anymore because this woman and her husband are going to stay there through the fall. So we're just going to take that long-term rent and scrap the football weekend stuff.
You have the main house rented?
Yeah, the main house got rented last week.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm basically a landlord now, which is cool.
That's dope, dude.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's very cool. I dream of opening my own property one day. How much does a house in Athens cost?
Well, the single family houses we were looking at last year that we were getting beat out by cash offers were in like the mid 3s to low 4s.
So that's what, 2-bedroom house?
Well, I'm just saying like that's like the general market. Like if you want to buy a single family, because ours is double property, so it's a 4-bedroom house in the front, 2-bedroom house in the back. So it's not like that's not the typical Athens property. But the typical Athens property is where the rich dads are buying houses for their kids is
right.
3s to mid 4s, and they're going all cash, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So we got beat out for months on those types of offers.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Athens is like the kind of town like the size and style of town I think I ultimately would like to live in. So
dude, the neighborhood we bought in is Normal Town. It's like adult Athens. It's where all the 30-year-olds live. And so it's not
town.
Yeah, it's called Normal Town.
Isn't that where we stayed for
Auburn?
Yeah, like the Griff's bachelor party and that. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Well, so
I love that neighborhood.
Yeah, so I'm a third of a mile from that place. So it's like very quiet. It's very non-student. You'll see students like every once in a while, but it's pretty much like adults with kids. Like it's very normal, no pun intended. It's very like mainstream living, but you're also in a college town, so it's like affordable living, and you're only an hour from Atlanta, hour and a half from Atlanta. I've been very romanticized by the thought of like living in Athens.
I was
Me too.
Like,
I think
can we all go back? Let's all go back.
Yeah.
For me personally,
It'd be sick, right?
As a fucking sicko, the only issue, dude, there were so many hot young girls around, it would be like kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's my problem too, actually. That's why I can't go back.
I'm not saying that like, oh, I'd be fucking a chick. I'm saying that like it's this constant, like, I wouldn't be fucking them. That's the problem. Like,
sure.
It's like life, what I struggle with monogamy or marriage or whatever in general, just like super concentrated. Like, these are all the reasons you can't maintain a like successful relationship, just like right in your face all the time, you know? For me, that would be an issue. I've actually thought about that.
But LA is just fine.
Yeah,
That's true, actually, but it's less concentrated, right? Because it's a massive city.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, man. You got to.
It's an issue in LA, you know.
I definitely want to.
Started dropping JoJo started kindergarten, dude, and so now I'm like involved in like the broader elementary school parent group. Dude, what the fuck? It's insane. I haven't gotten super weird about it, but I'm gonna start getting weird about it. Where like I'll see a hot mom, like, dude, like I'm not gonna say tens, but like nines, like blazing hot. And I'll just ask them in the hallways of elementary school, like, that's your son? Like, wait, is that your son? Because I'm a nanny, right? So I kind of have this inbuilt excuse. It's like, LA's not exactly the type of place where people are like randomly talk to anyone, even say hi to anyone. So like the fact it's weird. But like I have to ask. I'll see these women walking hand in hand with some like first grade. I'm like, that you have a kid, like you had a kid, that's your kid, and like you've had to raise it and go through the stresses of motherhood, and like you look like that still. It's a craze. They're all foreign. None of them are American. That's the thing.
Are they young or they're just very
in shape?
yeah?
They're young, not like by Southern standards, they're not young. They're in their 20s, early 30s, and late 20s,
With a-
early 30s.
But with a
It's
first
our age,
grader,
our
really young.
age, our age, a little bit younger. What's that?
With a first grader though, that's very young. Or a
Maybe
kindergarten.
younger, dude, but also Asians, you never know, man.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's true. Yes.
A good-looking 6-year-old Asian looks like she's 35.
How do you tie your hair back? I still haven't figured out how to do this. I feel like my hair's longer than yours. I should be able to do that.
Oh, bro. Well, I've had 4.5 years of tying hair experience exactly this length. I just do my hair's all of it's still like a mullet in the back. This is what I used to do with the girls when they were like had this hair kind of hair length, but I didn't want to have them get food in their hair. Is I'll just do like a little like unicorn thing on the top. And that's what I do with mine now when I go to the gym or
It's like this. I just need to like learn how to do it.
Yeah.
no, just on the top. Quit going all the way to the back, just the top, just the front part.
No, but that'll work.
Yeah, that's a vibe. I like that.
That's a vibe. Dude, I love the term vibe, that whole new guys, fellas, guys. I lost them.
Train frozen. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, Train was locked in on man's hair.
I'm starting to feel real uncomfortable.
No, the same thing happened with you. I think my computer's in the sun. Listen. I love the whole vibe. That's a vibe. Like people use that fucking language in LA.
I
All
wish I could.
You talking about vibes?
I can't.
All right. Anything else?
No, man, this is a great chat. I'm down to do this again on Friday, but I can't Saturday because I'm actually coming to LA next weekend.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, we're going. So it's Rochelle and I's 11th anniversary on Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Sturgill Simpson's playing at the Greek Theater.
Oh, dope.
We're going to that show,
That's it.
and then we're staying in Santa Barbara. But I don't know what you're. I'm flying in on Saturday morning. I'll be there. I'm landing at like 9 local Saturday morning. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you're up to, but
I mean, do you have free time?
I've got a couple hours to kill because she's working in
Live pod, bro.
Say what?
Live pod.
Okay, yeah, let's do
Do
that.
this in person.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's do it.
It's gotta be like no offense, it's gotta be a little tighter. Like
Yeah. What? So what
what's gonna
hour?
have like 4 hours to kill?
We need some discipline.
Yeah.
What?
I logged on 3 hours ago. Like I don't know. Yeah,
So
let's
Friday the 14th.
yeah, I'm landing that morning. Let's figure
Okay.
something out.
What time do you get in?
I land at 9. I'm renting a car because I'm driving to Santa Barbara, but I'll have a car so I can drive wherever.
And then she has the work. So you have like
She's working until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So
okay, perfect. Let's do it.
sweet.
Matters. Come here. We'll do it here.
All right. Yeah, well, I'll text you in the week just to confirm.
Yep.
Sweet.
Dope. Perfect. Mayo, thanks for your input. We'll get you down for week 3.
Yeah, week 3 sounds like the right week for
Preview with Mayo.
yeah.
That'll be after the Patriots game, so we'll be coming off a win. We'll be feeling good at that point.
2 wins, 2-0.
Yeah, we'll be 2-0 for sure.
Yeah, anything's gonna go at that point.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about anything else. I had little topics in my head. I think we're good. Well, keep it going. Let's keep it going, Buzz. Keep me consistent. Keep me accountable.
I got you, dude.
All right.
Later.
Fight the powers, guys. Speak your mind. You're in control of your consciousness. No one is in control of your consciousness except you. Let's start with the consciousness. The whole government controlling your body is one thing. That's like higher hanging fruit. You're in control of your consciousness, your thoughts, and your words.
Amen, brother.
And then we'll get into bodies.
Here. Love you, dude.
Love
Bye.
ya.
Love you, bye.